The first one is called the Justinian plague. This one took place when the Byzantine Empire was on its brighter time in history. This is the first epidemic which is registered on history. This illness took all over the place to Constantinople. And at the end of this epidemic, the imperial capital had lost the 40% of its population, and 4 million people died. The consequences for the economy were catastrophic. The number of dead people was above of the alive ones. The second one is called Black Death. This plague was one of the worst illnesses for humanity and still having outbreaks nowadays. It took place on the 14th mid-century between 1346 and 1353. However, the symptoms and the treatment were ignored at the time, causing a big outbreak which turned out to be one of the worst pandemics. 5 centuries later, the cause was discovered. The rats were the ones who caused it. The statistics claim that the European population decreased from 8 million people to 30 million people.
The so-called variola virus, which has been known to affect humans for at least 10,000 years, is the cause of the disease known as smallpox. Its name refers to the pustules that appeared on the skin of those who suffered from it. It was a seriously and extremely contagious disease that decimated the world population since its appearance, reaching mortality rates of up to 30%. It spread massively in the New World when the conquerors began to cross the ocean, terribly affecting a population with very low defense against new diseases. And in Europe, it had a dramatic period of expansion during the 18th century, infecting and disfiguring millions of people. Fortunately, it is one of the only 2 diseases that humans have managed to eradicate through vaccination. In March 1918, during the last months of the First World War, the first case of Spanish flu was registered paradoxically in a hospital in the United States. It was baptized that way because Spain remained neutral in the Great War, and information about the pandemic circulated freely, unlike the other countries involved in the conflict that tried to hide the data. Recent studies have revealed more accurate data. It is estimated that the global mortality rate was between 10 and 20% of those infected, with 20 to 50 million people dying worldwide.
What I'm going to talk about is the acquired immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. Also known as AIDS, is one of the most serious and recent pandemics known to today's society. The first documented cases took place in 1981, and since then it has spread throughout the world. It is very dangerous because it causes the immunologic system to get weaker. The virus itself is not lethal, but as I said, it can cause that any other illness be lethal. Like just a common flu can kill you if you have this virus. Next one and last one I'm gonna take about is the Asian flu. It was first recorded in the Yunnan Peninsula in China, and it appeared in 1957. It only took 1 year for this illness to spread around the world, and it have killed 1 million people.